Welcome back, you guys. Today we're going to talk about the 5 ways wealthy people make money using debt. Have you ever heard the sayings, debt is slavery, never fall into debt, or even debt is the source of all evils? To some extent, this is correct because being in debt may make you feel as if your financial life is finished. Your debts are not sitting around waiting for you to completely pay them off. Instead, they are rising each day while you strive to pay them off. Because no one loans money for free, the debt is always subject to interest payments. Despite this, though, the United States has decided to embrace debt overall. The overall consumer debt in the United States is about $15.6 trillion, putting the average credit card debt in the country to around $5,315. In 2021, the United States GDP was just under $21 trillion, implying that the entire economy will be based on debt. But there is some hope. Debt is not always bad. This is a controversial viewpoint because the majority of our debt is bad debt. You most likely owe money on a college loan, your vehicle, or credit cards, and you're thinking to yourself, it'll take decades to pay all of these loans off. How can debt possibly be beneficial? Well, let's take a look at how people with a lot of money still utilize debt to generate more money so that we can analyze how debt may be beneficial. It may be perplexing because, first off, why would someone with a large sum of money utilize loans? Debt is designed to be utilized by those who don't have any money, but capitalism does not operate that way. Debt is a tremendous instrument if you know how to utilize it, and you'll learn how wealthy individuals use it to produce even greater money. Welcome back, you guys. Today we're going to talk about the 5 ways wealthy people make money using debt. So go ahead and give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to this channel for more great content, and let's get started. Now the first way is through refinancing. Real estate debt refinancing is the ideal type of debt to have since if you don't have a mortgage, you're paying more in taxes. To be able to take advantage of these deductions, wealthy individuals always have numerous mortgages. Keep in mind that every dollar you'll normally pay in taxes but could instead save is another dollar you make. So that's another way rich people grow richer. But let me show you a more practical approach. This is basically how rich people become rich in real estate. Let's say you saved $150,000, which is a lot of money. But you might not be even able to buy a house for $800,000 because you need to make at least a 20% down payment. But here's the secret. Let's say that a property costs $400,000 that's in bad shape and needs renovation. You go to a bank and get a mortgage with a 20% down payment. Now let's say you're going to spend around 10% of the house's costs, or around $40,000 for renovation. You go to your bank again. However, this time you refinance your mortgage. When you first got your mortgage, the property was only worth $400,000 because it was in such terrible shape that nobody wanted to live there before you renovate it. But now that it's renovated, people want to rent it out. So let's say that the market value rises to $600,000 and you're going to obtain an 80% mortgage for the first time. For 80% of a $600,000 home is $480,000. With $320,000 going to the first mortgage, $40,000 covering the renovation, and $80,000 covering the down payment, you will receive a profit of $40,000, as well as a home that you may rent out to develop equity and produce passive income. You also defer paying taxes because you have a mortgage. Among real estate investors, this is a relatively popular technique. Does this look like a bad use of debt? I will let you answer that in the comment section down below. The second way wealthy people make money using debt is through hedge funds. Hedge funds are created by the wealthy for the wealthy to make the wealthy even wealthier, and they frequently employ unpopular strategies. Ordinary people like you and I try our hardest to anticipate which companies will grow and rise in value over time, and we invest the money we earn in the hopes that these companies will grow. But hedge funds frequently employ the opposite strategy. attempting to profit when companies decrease in value or go bankrupt, as was the case with GameStop. Although in that case, the hedge funds were challenged on the internet, through the internet, which led the hedge funds to losing over $13 billion. But how do these hedge funds profit from debt? Let's imagine you predict a stock, such as Facebook, to fall because you know that Apple, the world's most popular smartphone manufacturer, will announce that it will no longer permit apps like Instagram and Facebook to track your activity online and are making privacy a top priority, which will severely harm Facebook's business model. So let's say you call your broker to borrow a single Facebook stock that costs, say, $100, and you decide to sell it for $100 on the open market. Congratulations, you now have $100, but you still owe your broker one Facebook stock. Now let's say your prediction comes true and the Facebook stock drops down to $70 next week. So use that $100 to buy one Facebook stock and return it to your broker for $70 because the price was reduced, and collect the difference. Congratulations, you just made $30 off of the whole stock. It may sound simple in principle, but it's really tough and hazardous in practice. For instance, what if your prediction is wrong, or the price doubles overnight? You still must return that Facebook stock to your broker and pay interest simply for borrowing that stock. When you purchase stock and try to sell it when it rises, the most you can lose is the amount you invested. But when you short it, your total losses will keep rising until you eventually make a sale, and that could be an unlimited loss theoretically because the price will continue to rise indefinitely. However, if you have many analysts working for you who can keep track of your data, then you can make a lot of money through this. Now, the third way wealthy people make money using debt is through commerce. It may seem contentious since borrowing money to start and fund a business is a terrible idea, and I may never do it myself, but there are some firms, particularly conventional ones, where doing so is the best option. For instance, if you want to sell pencils, they're a common product with almost always a high demand. Ideally, you would fly over to China, find a factory that can produce the type of pencil with a fine quality at a reasonable price, buy a container of them, ship them to the United States if that's where you're selling, and then sell them to your clients. However, in today's world, most of this can be completed online, unless if it's a more complicated product that requires you to fly to the factory. But lately, some of these factories would happily loan you the products in exchange for you paying them sometime in the future. Of course, they will not lend to strangers, so you have to establish some trust with them first. Once the client sells the product in the United States or anywhere else, that person can then pay the factory and borrow more products to sell. You're essentially telling the factory, I know how to sell the product, and if I can sell it above a certain agreed upon price, then that will be my profit. Now, the fourth way wealthy people use debt to make money is through a process called Forex trading. Simply, Forex is a market where currencies are traded, allowing international trade to take place. For example, if you want to pay your employees in China, you must buy Chinese yen. Thus, there's a market where you can do so. Any business or anyone else can use Forex to buy foreign currencies, and the currencies fluctuate based on many factors. For example, if the Fed raised interest rates, the supply of dollars within the market is limited, making the United States dollar stronger than other currencies, or vice versa. If you're able to accurately predict which currencies will fall or rise, you can make a lot of money using Forex. However, what's different with this type of market compared to others is that you can borrow $100 for every dollar you spend on Forex. In other words, if you trade using $2,000, you can hold a position worth $200,000. If you wind making a profit of 1%, this amount could be massive. Now, the fifth method is obviously through your credit score. As you can see, credit score is a strong instrument that every successful entrepreneur or business employs in a variety of ways, particularly if they are in debt. Usually, businesses will borrow money to finance orders, which is something that is practiced every single day. So stop thinking that all debt is bad. Of course, high interest rate debts are terrible, including credit card debts and so on and so forth. In order to get a lower interest rate, you will need a track record of being able to be a dependable borrower. Banks have billions, if not trillions of dollars, and all of that is really ready to be borrowed at any point in time. and they can manufacture money out of thin air if they need to. So having a good credit score could go a long way. Finally, it is important to have a deal that can make you money to service the debt in the event something ends up going wrong with the asset that you are investing in. This could be either your current job or another business that is generating cash flow to service that debt. As always, you guys, thank you for tuning in to today's episode. If you liked what you heard today, please hit the like button and consider subscribing to my channel for more great content. And as always, I appreciate you guys. Thank you. Take care.